Hi TEDx YorkU. My name is Akhil Khurana and this is my application to be a speaker in 2016. I'm a second-year mechanical engineering student at the Lausanne School of Engineering, and I want to bring up a concern that's largely been ignored by the public until very recently. And that is the cloak of anonymity provided to criminals by the dark web. In the last 20 years or so, the emergence and global success of social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram has made it easier than ever to find out everything you want to know about someone, just with a couple strokes of a keyboard or clicks of a mouse. Our digital footprint has made it nearly impossible to live life without leaving traces of our existence. And that can be something as small as a tweet indicating when you were at the gym, or even that photo you might have Instagrammed on the bus home from school. I want you to visualize the internet as an iceberg. Similar to the iceberg, what we see of the internet actually only makes up about 4% of the data. The other 96% is what we refer to as the deep web. The deep web consists of anything which isn't indexed by the search engines. So let's say you're going on a vacation and you want to book a fancy hotel in Cuba. So you go to hotels.com, you type your dates into their search bar, and you browse hotels. Now imagine trying to find those same hotels except without the search bar. Makes it nearly impossible, doesn't it? The only way then would actually be to somehow find and physically type in that long and complicated URL, which we don't even use anymore. And you'd have to manually navigate to it. So to reiterate, it's nearly impossible. In the same way, each site on the deep web can only be accessed by someone who has the web address or the URL. And to complicate things a little further, websites on the deep web don't have catchy URL names like www.facebook.com. No. Instead, they have long alphanumerical codes. That's codes consisting of alphabet and numbers. And this adds another layer of security onto the deep web. So contained with the deep web is what we call the dark web. This is where the illegal activity occurs. Up until a few decades ago, illegal anything was conducted in the dead of the night for the most part, and darkness would provide the cloak of anonymity. Now, criminals operate in broad daylight from the comfort of their homes using readily available networks such as Tor, I2P, or Freenet. And they do it completely anonymously on the dark web. The way these browsers work is each computer in their network is a node. So if you have the browser on your computer, you're a node, and everybody using it essentially acts as a node. When you send an email or transfer data on this network, the data is encrypted by the browser and it's passed along through each single node, each single computer. And every time the data goes to a computer, it's decrypted just a little bit. Just enough so it knows where it's going next, but not enough to know where it came from or what the final destination is. In this way, it's nearly impossible to find out the source of the data or even the destination, to be honest. And, as if the dark web wasn't already enough, so the invention of Bitcoin has only further complicated the matter of cybersecurity by providing a means for anonymous payment. So now you have Bitcoin and you have the dark web, and coupled together, it actually creates this interface where you can trade, sell, communicate, buy, and conduct all sorts of illegal activity. And you do this with a level of anonymity that's never existed before. It's ridiculous. You could go onto the deep web or the dark web and find yourself a hitman for hire, a hacker for hire. You could buy some fake ID. So to really put things into perspective with regards to anonymity, the identity of the inventor of Bitcoin still remains anonymous 8 years after its creation. We have this person or this group of people because frankly we don't know if it was one person or a group of people. And they invented this currency which has a total worth of over 5 billion US dollars as of January 2016. And yet, all we know about them is that they go by the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't even know if they're even Japanese. The growing popularity of the dark web and the anonymity it provides is an even greater concern now, as organizations such as ISIS use these tools to recruit North Americans to their cause. And to further complicate things, law enforcement agencies simply aren't cut out to handle the threat posed by the dark web. Just take the example of the Silk Road. The Silk Road was an online market on the dark web, and it was notoriously dubbed as the eBay of illicit drugs. Between 2011 and 2013, the Silk Road generated over $1.2 billion in revenue. That's US dollars. Any and all law enforcement efforts focused to take down this business were solely targeting the supply side approaches. For example, they'd track criminal proceeds, or they'd limit profits of the crime, such as, tracking Bitcoin transactions or trying to confiscate, which is a whole nother ballgame, nearly impossible. Very little was actually done to track the founders, cut off the demand, or use any cyber means. The problem with that is focusing on the supply side of a demand-driven transnational crime has been historically proven to be catastrophic. You just look at the cocaine trade in Colombia and Pablo Escobar. Law enforcement techniques generally have been designed for predatory crimes like homicide, and so they've historically failed and they'll continue to fail in their approach to cybercrime. It's as simple as that. Simply put, law enforcement agencies just aren't cut out to handle cybercrime and the threat posed by the dark web. I don't want to stand here and single-handedly come up with a solution to the problem, because to be completely honest, I don't have one. What I do want to do, though, is to raise awareness. I want to entice interest, and I want to motivate others like me to explore this new sector of cybersecurity, because believe me, there is still a lot to do and a lot to figure out here. And we need to come together to come up with a solution for this as a society. Thank you.